What's up, Juventini? Wow, we've got a bunch to discuss today. Disaster strikes when we talk Fagioli. Dan Ndoye, how is Juve looking to make this deal happen? And Gyökeres finally linked with Juventus as a serious striker candidate. We'll break it down. The latest on Coal Miners, the latest on Miretti, and did Totti, of all people, spill the beans on the next coach of Juventus? We'll look at that, and then breaking news, unfortunate news, as a player goes down 2 days before our critical final match against Venezia. We're going to look at all this together right now. I'm Berto. This is the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. It's May 23rd. Let's rock with the news. We kick things off with disaster strikes when we look at Fagioli. Fiorentina has decided not to redeem the player at 16 million euros, deemed too high, and the reports state it's due to his mental fragility. Not reports you want to hear on a player coming back to Juventus. I said it at the time, and I stand firm. We should have never moved him at that time. We assumed all risk in the fact that it wasn't a final done deal. The obligation was only there should they qualify for European play. And now this is a disaster, as you have a player you're removing for only 16 million euros. He's getting slandered for mental fragility all across all the media headlines, and he's set to come back. We had midfielders that were not performing up to a standard. He could have still been used, and worst case scenario, even if you wanted to say goodbye and part ways, you move him in the summer, but you make sure it's a final move. This is disaster, but he is returning to Turin. Will he be part of the squad for the Club World Cup? It is expected he will be there for the Club World Cup. Will he feature enough? Are they going to just try to bring up value and still say goodbye in the summer? We wait and see for his fate. But this is an ugly situation for Juventus. When it comes to Dan Ndoye, we've heard about Juve's interest in the player. 40 million euros is the price tag set by Bologna. And Juve apparently looking at trying to bring the cost down by utilizing some players to include in the deal. One of those players is Samuel Mbangula, who carries a value of around roughly 15 million euros. I'm still a no on this move. Ndoye valued at 40 million, even if we include a player or not, I'm not in on this. Where do you stand? Hit me in the comments. Now we get to a striker that we have been waiting. A lot of us have been waiting for links to Juventus. Today we get him. This is Victor Gyökeres. Mirko Di Natale claims that Juventus really like Gyökeres, and his name absolutely needs to be considered on the list of candidates for Juventus' next striker. The exit clause, 65 to 70 million euros. This thing is the same situation it's always been. We love to hear that we're interested in one of the top touted strikers heading into the Mercato, but it's always going to come down to players' will. And Gyökeres is going to have a list of clubs going in for him, and it's just going to come down to who he wants to go and play for. But Juventus does admire Gyökeres, and they are in the mix. It just comes down to finding an agreement with him, and again, who he wants to go and play for next season. When we get to Coal Miners, rumors continue to swirl around him and his future. Today, the reports are all consistent. There are zero intentions from Juventus on moving Coal Miners. Yes, he is a high-priced purchase that we made last summer, and the season hasn't gone well for him. Yes, Douglas Luiz falls into the same category, and we are looking to move him. Why not Coal Miners? I've always felt it's been a different circumstance completely, because I've been feeling for a while and very vocal about it that Douglas Luiz himself does not want to remain in Turin, and that has been backed up by a lot of word on the street, as well as some rumors in media from certain outlets. That's the difference in circumstances and situations, and it's harder for us to move Coal Miners. Luiz has still always carried interest, especially from the Premier League. So for those two reasons, that's why the situation is different for Luiz than Coal Miners. When we get to Miretti, his future, when he recovers from his shoulder surgery. It should be in time for Club World Cup, but it's also going to be in time for the U21 Euros, and he should be called to the Azzurri for national duty. So that is most likely where he's going to be heading this summer. Totti, did he spill the beans on the next coach of Juventus? When asked about who the signed coach is for Roma and who is going to be the next coach, who he believes the next coach should be, he mentioned Conte and Allegri. He said, because I believe they are both very strong managers and two of the best. However, he states they have signed for other clubs. Hold up. So Totti just said Allegri, who has really only been linked with Napoli, has signed with another club. Does that mean Conte has already signed or decided with Juventus? Did he just spill the beans? Time will tell, everybody. But we've got breaking news. It's unfortunate news around injury front, and it is Renato Veiga trained separately today from the group due to muscle fatigue, 2 days out from the critical match against Venezia, where Tudor has to do something he hasn't done yet: win away from home. Veiga, I hope he gets into that starting 11. I need to see him in there, but for today, it's muscle fatigue for him, and he trains separately. Fingers crossed he gets in there. We're going to follow along the entire way. One more news break coming tomorrow, and then the live shows on the final match day for Juventus. I hope to see you all there across the way. For today, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join our AJC army. But my favorite part, let me know your thoughts on all of today's Juve news, and let's mix it up. Till tomorrow, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.